Once the testing truly begins, the candidates face long days carrying heavy rucksacks across the hills. The weight can reach more than 25 kilograms, and it must be carried everywhere. Each march increases in length, speed, and difficulty. The soldiers must navigate alone using a map and compass, which means they cannot rely on anyone else to find the correct path. There is no encouragement from instructors. The directing staff watch carefully, but they stay silent. If a candidate falls behind, no one yells at them to speed up. If someone cries or screams in pain, no one helps. The reason is simple. The SAS needs people who can push themselves even when there is no one to push them. Every day, the hills take their toll. Shoulders burn from the backpack straps digging into the skin. Feet swell and blister until each step feels like walking on broken glass. Knees and ankles become weak as they move down long slopes with the heavy rucksack pulling their body forward. Stress fractures begin to appear in the legs of some candidates. They may not even notice until suddenly their bones refuse to support them anymore. Hypothermia is also a threat, especially when rain or wind chills the body faster than it can stay warm. The mountains do not care if someone was a star athlete or a respected soldier. Some arrive strong and confident, only to realize that willpower matters more than muscles. Others arrive quietly and show that they can endure pain without complaint. Many discover a personal breaking point that they did not know existed. On every march, the group becomes smaller. The biggest test of the hills phase is known simply as the endurance. For this final challenge, candidates must travel more than 60 kilometers within 20 hours, crossing steep terrain including Pen y Fan, the highest peak in the Brecon Beacons. The weight of the rucksack increases, and the weather might turn violent at any moment. There is no rest except what a candidate can grab while walking. Some people finish with dragging one leg after an injury. Others collapse from exhaustion and must be taken off the course by medical staff. Finishing the endurance does not guarantee success. The directing staff checks every candidate's final time, navigation accuracy, and behavior during the march. Any major mistake can still result in failure. Still, those who complete the endurance test know they have survived one of the hardest physical trials used by any military force in the world. They have shown that they can keep moving forward even when their bodies demand they stop. However, the numbers tell the true story. If approximately 200 soldiers begin selection, fewer than 30 may remain after the hills phase. More than 90% will quit, fail, or be pulled out because their body breaks down. The SAS believes that only those who refuse to give up under this pressure deserve a chance to move forward. That being said, the mountains only destroy the body. The next phase tries to destroy the mind. The jungle. After surviving the Brecon Beacons, the remaining SAS candidates are sent far from the cold hills of Wales. They travel to some of the toughest environments on Earth, the deep jungles of Brunei, Belize, or Malaysia. These locations are chosen for one reason. The jungle does not care how strong a soldier is. It does not care how fast someone can run or how well they performed on the hills. In the jungle, survival depends on discipline, teamwork, and mental resilience. This is why the SAS has used this phase for decades. It forces every candidate to show their true character. The moment the soldiers step into the jungle, they feel the difference. The air is thick and heavy with humidity. Temperatures reach over 35 degrees Celsius every day. Sweat does not dry. Instead, clothing becomes soaked within minutes and stays wet for weeks. Boots fill with water after every river crossing. When soldiers wake up in the morning, they must put on the same cold, wet uniforms they wore the day before. There is no clean or dry option. Every soldier carries a heavy rucksack filled with water, food, ammunition, and equipment. The weight can reach 30 to 40 kilograms, and the load must be carried across steep, muddy terrain. The ground is uneven and the vegetation blocks the view. Sometimes, a soldier can only see a few steps ahead. Navigation depends on a map, compass, and constant focus. Getting lost in the jungle can mean failing the course or facing real danger. The insects add another layer of discomfort. Mosquitoes, leeches, and ants seem to attack non-stop. Small cuts can become infected quickly. If a soldier neglects personal hygiene, the skin can start to rot. A simple mistake in this environment can become a serious medical issue. Unlike the hills, where each candidate marches alone, the jungle requires teamwork. Soldiers move in patrol formations and must stay alert at all times. Even going to the toilet requires a partner to provide security. There is no privacy and no break from responsibility. Each day involves long patrols through dense vegetation, followed by nights spent in hammocks surrounded by darkness and unsettling noise. Sleep is short, and rest never feels complete. The body becomes exhausted, and the mind follows. This phase is designed to test more than physical strength. Instructors watch how candidates behave when they are tired, stressed, and uncomfortable. They observe who helps others and who tries to hide mistakes. They pay attention to how individuals handle pressure. Someone may be physically strong but become frustrated or careless. Someone else may stay calm, organized, and focused. Those differences matter. The jungle shows what kind of soldier a person truly is. Many candidates leave the course during this phase through voluntary withdrawal. They are not forced out by injury or time limits. Instead, they reach a moment when their mind decides it has had enough. Some begin to think too much about home. Others become convinced that an instructor dislikes them. Small worries grow larger every day. The fear of failing later can make some give up early. The jungle does not break them in one dramatic moment. It breaks them slowly, through constant discomfort and endless effort. There are also failures caused by heat illness, infection, or a lack of discipline in routines. If a soldier cannot take care of their body and gear, the environment will punish them quickly. Even small mistakes can show that someone is not ready to operate in real missions, where errors may cost lives. By the end of the jungle phase, only a small group remains. These men have shown the ability to work as part of a team, follow orders, and maintain high standards in unforgiving conditions. They have proved that their minds are strong enough to continue when everything around them tries to make them stop. Yet even those who survive the jungle still face the ultimate truth, the harsh truth. This is the harsh truth about British SAS selection. Up to this point, the hills and the jungle have removed almost everyone who cannot cope with pain, heat, doubt, and fear. But the SAS is not looking for someone who is only physically strong. "You could turn up as an Olympian," one former candidate explained, "and be no better off than the next person in about 2 weeks." Selection is designed knowing that muscles alone are not enough. They need soldiers who keep calm when everything around them is falling apart. The SAS performs missions deep behind enemy lines, in cities, deserts, mountains, and in the middle of war zones where a single mistake can cost lives. To prepare for this, candidates must learn how to operate quietly and invisibly. They train in covert surveillance, where the goal is to see everything without being seen. They learn how to gather intelligence, how to move through buildings during counterterrorism operations, and how to stay perfectly focused in dangerous situations. There is no room for error, because real missions do not offer second chances. What makes the SAS unique is that the instructors do not judge candidates only during the official tests. They pay attention to how someone behaves when they believe no one is watching. One veteran said that the unit looks for the person who performs when no one is watching. They want soldiers who show discipline even during small tasks, because those habits decide who lives or dies on a mission. After the jungle, the training becomes more specialized. The group practices combat survival and escape. They must survive with almost no supplies, avoid capture, and endure long patrols that stretch their limits further every day. When the hunt force begins chasing them, they must use everything they learned to stay hidden. If caught, they move into the resistance to interrogation phase. This training is strict, controlled, and legally supervised. It prepares them for what they could face if captured by enemy forces who want information. Candidates are pushed until their bodies shake and their thoughts become unclear. Instructors want to know if they can protect secrets even when terrified, exhausted, and tortured. This phase reveals something important. Many people can run far. Many can carry heavy weight. Many can handle rain, heat, hunger, and insects. But not many can stay strong when another person uses strategy and pressure to break the mind. This is where the SAS finds out exactly who can be trusted. None of this is meant to look impressive. There are no cameras, no large speeches, and no loud motivation. One instructor said, "You don't get any encouragement at all. The point is to prove who will continue even when the world is silent." That is also why, throughout history, the SAS has accepted that their training is dangerous. There have been years when more soldiers died in selection than in actual combat operations. The unit sees this as a necessary risk to make sure that only the right people move forward. By the time selection ends, the original group of more than 200 trained soldiers has become a tiny group of around 25. Every one of them has survived challenges that most people would quit on the first day. They earn the beige beret and the winged dagger badge. They finally gain the right to call themselves blades. But the real outcome is deeper than a badge. The SAS has shown that strength alone is not enough. The true reveal is simple. This is not about who is the strongest. It is about who refuses to stop. And after earning the badge, the work of the SAS is only beginning. Life after selection. When a candidate finally reaches the end of SAS selection and earns the beige beret, nothing dramatic happens. There are no loud celebrations or public announcements. Instead, the soldier quietly joins one of the operational squadrons of 22 SAS, where real missions begin. This is the moment when everything they trained for becomes part of their daily life. They are now expected to operate in some of the most dangerous environments in the world, where mistakes cannot be undone and where every decision must be correct. After selection, the new operators are assigned to a troop inside their squadron based on their skills and future specialization. A troop may focus on mobility operations using vehicles in deserts, maritime infiltration with diving and boats, high-altitude parachute insertions, or cold weather operations in the mountains and Arctic regions. Whichever skill set they begin with, they are expected to learn new ones and to improve constantly. In the SAS, learning never stops. One day they may jump from a military aircraft at night using a HALO parachute, and only a few weeks later, they may be sent to a completely different environment that demands new knowledge. Since the Second World War, SAS soldiers have been involved in missions that require absolute secrecy. They carry out hostage rescues, special reconnaissance deep behind enemy lines, and counterterrorism operations all over the world. For example, SAS operators entered a besieged building during the Iranian embassy siege in London in 1980, freeing all but 2 hostages. In later years, SAS troops were deployed in the Balkans, the Middle East, and Africa, often with no official recognition at the time. Their work included tracking terrorist networks, capturing high-value targets, and helping friendly local forces fight against organized threats. Many of these missions will remain secret forever, because revealing details could endanger future operations or expose the people who supported them. Family life also becomes very different. When an SAS soldier leaves home, even close relatives may not know where they are going or how long they will be gone for. They cannot share details of their missions or training, and sometimes they cannot even say which country they are visiting. This is part of the responsibility that comes with joining a special operations unit. The people around them must learn to accept uncertainty. While other soldiers can discuss their deployments openly, SAS members must protect information for the safety of the entire regiment. Inside the regiment, operators continue developing physically, mentally, and technically. They learn foreign weapons, advanced medical skills, surveillance techniques, and new methods of insertion, such as using kayaks or small aircraft. They also train for urban combat, where every move must be precise, and they rehearse hostage rescue procedures inside specially designed facilities. There are also long deployments to test their readiness, such as jungle rotations in Belize or Brunei, snow and ice courses in Norway or Canada, and desert operations in places that resemble future mission sites. Every member of the SAS is expected to stay calm under pressure, think independently, and support the team no matter the circumstances. What they learn during selection is only the foundation. Everything after that is about becoming part of a close group of highly skilled individuals who trust each other completely. They understand that their missions may not receive recognition, and that success sometimes means that the world never learns what they accomplished. Still, they take pride in being part of a unit with one of the strongest reputations in history. Along with the beige beret and the winged dagger badge, they also carry a powerful motto: It is a reminder of what brought them inside the most dangerous Special Forces program, and what will guide them through every mission ahead. Who dares wins. Would you ever push yourself to the limit, even if there was a 90% chance you would fail? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.